Hello, I am going to be testing for you today my brand new Olive Rose contour. So I've been kind of slowly accumulating the brand new Olive Rose collection. It's a new makeup line from Olive Tree people, so like Oliveda skincare, things like that. This is a new brand within that same kind of overarching company. So the first ingredient in it is not water. The first ingredient is actually olive leaf elixir. So like literally ground up leaves of the olive tree, and that liquid that they take from that replaces the water. And that liquid actually contains a molecule called hydroxytyrosol. And if you look up hydroxytyrosol, you can see all of the insane benefits from it. So it's really cool that the base of this makeup line is even going to give you a lot of really cool benefits for your skin. So think of the skin tint itself as first and foremost skincare. So I would say it's a powerful serum. I would introduce it to your skin slowly, and I would be considerate of the fact that you're putting it on your skin in the morning. And think about what else you're putting on your skin and maybe not overloading your skin, especially right away. Ease in and see what your skin can handle. So with that being said, I'm going to do a makeup look for you today using majority Olive Rose products. There is a 1-day promo. So for those who are catching this video live or within 1 day of the replay, there is a promo where you can get a skin tint, the mascara, and the setting spray. For if you add all of them to the cart, then you'll get 15% off. So there is that current promo happening right now. And I do not have the setting spray. My skin is incredibly sensitive and acne prone. And literally every spray I've ever tried makes me break out. And so I just didn't even order it. But I have heard a lot of people who love setting sprays or don't have as sensitive skin as I do have really enjoyed it. And so that is a really cool thing to add to this little kit. And so I have been testing the mascara. I've used exclusively this mascara for the last like 2-3 weeks or so, and I genuinely do really love it. I feel like it has a very soft and voluminous effect. So if that's what you're looking for in a mascara, a very soft, natural, full look, then it's going to be a really good option for you. Or if you're looking for a really like low tox, super clean European standard mascara, then it's also a really good option for that. Okay, so I'm going to dive into the look now and focus on doing the tutorial. Feel free to comment or ask any questions or something, or anything that you want. And then at the end, after the tutorial, then I will make sure that I answer as many questions as I can see, and then kind of recap some details about the promo and stuff. So let's dive in. I am using my 03 from my Olive Rose Skin Tint. And I still think it's a good idea to shake it up. You definitely don't have to shake it as much as you did the old formula. This newer formula is a lot better. I mean, I'll just basically say it's just better. So it's a lot better to have a pump instead of a dropper. It also is a creamier, I feel like, formula. There's less. Some people reacted to the last formula because it had some stronger skincare ingredients in it. And so this is just a little bit more gentle in terms of that, which I really appreciate personally. And then it gives you this insane glowy, filtered looking effect. So I really love it. And then also the product is very stable now. So it doesn't have a lot of separation. You don't have to shake it a ton for it to fully incorporate. And you can apply it with your brush or fingers or a sponge, literally any way that you want. And so I have been loving this Pilot brush from Saint. It's a brand new 4-in-1 brush that Saint came out with. And so it opens up, and inside there are smaller brushes. So it's 4 brushes in one. And I have just been loving it. It's been like a big go-to for me. I think with the Saint creams, They are, oh, you're not supposed to put that on your eyelids. It's like such a habit. I have to remind myself. Don't get it too close to your eyes because it's, again, an active serum. So just heads up on that. And so, oh, with Saint creams, I worry about these thicker brushes because they grab too much product. But with this, it's like not absorbing that product into it, and it's just able to distribute it around, and you're not getting too much product on your face because, again, it's a serum, not a cream. So I've really loved that. Okay, next up, I'm actually going to highlight too with my Olive Rose. And so I'm just going to grab a little bit of shade 1. I was just using shade 3. This is shade 1. And I am just going to do a tiny bit of brightening with this color. And then I will contour and show you the cream contour stick that Olive Tree came out with. I just got it in the mail the other day, and usually I do like a first impression live, like the first time I ever use the product is live, but with this one I actually just tried it beforehand. So I really knew, I don't know, sometimes I'm like, it's better for me to like play with it a couple times because I learn more about it and can tell you more about it. And so this time I tried it beforehand, and I feel like it helps me just to know the product a little bit better as I'm introducing it to you. So this just blends in so well. It really does not accentuate like any texture on your face. And so it is fun to kind of play with different shades because it's very forgiving. I feel like the color match quiz will help you get the right color, or like in a general vicinity of colors. And then you'll be able to, okay, there we go. You'll be able to like adjust, or it's like very forgiving. Like you can use it with your Saint products really easily or with other things, but it will really give you, that is not the right one, an awesome starting base. So the skin quiz is awesome. Okay, so here's the contour. This is the Olive Rose contour, and this is the color medium. And I am going to just slap this on. So with this, I would say it's very soft. Like it looks kind of thick putting this on, but it blends to almost nothing. Like it blends out to a very sheer effect easily. And I would say a lot easier than like Saint products do. And so heads up on that. You just don't need to have a very heavy hand blending it. And you can just be a very soft and gentle blending it out, and it will blend really easily for you. So I'm gonna put a little tiny bit, my Cupid's bow. Sometimes I struggle with depth perception in using my phone as a mirror. So a little bit on there, a little underneath my bottom lip, and then of course jawline. I am also going to do a little bit down. Sorry. Make sure that you twist it back down before you put the lid on it so it doesn't get crunched in the lid. Okay, so now we're going to really softly blend this out. And again, do not push very hard, like a light, soft buffing motion. And I'm actually really glad that I played with it beforehand to be able to tell you that, because normally with like a stick or something like that I've tried before, a cream stick, I have come in and like really had to like work it through and work it around. And this, you like barely tap it and it distributes in. So you really want to be gentle with it, and the product will go on very sheer. So kind of the whole concept behind the Olive Rose makeup line is a very no makeup look. So it doesn't want to leave a ton of product. You can see how soft that blended out there. And you can use way less product than this. I love a nice strong contour typically, and I like adding warmth and depth to my face. And so For me, I am not afraid of product, and so I put a lot on, but this is, I mean, just so gentle. Just barely tap that in, and you can see how the texture of it is gorgeous. So I would say if someone were to ask me like which contour I prefer, that is a very hard question. I think I still always prefer the ease and like the compactness of having everything in like your Saint palette. Like I love that I can dip into like different colors within one place. So I feel like in terms of that, I don't love just a bunch of extra products that you're keeping track of all the time. But in terms of the actual formula, I just think they're very different. And so the contour in Saint is a stickier, I would say like a more solid, stickier consistency than the highlights are. And so a lot of people have struggled with like figuring out how to blend them out without making them like patchy or stuff like that. And you will not run into that with this product. So I would say ease of application, especially for a beginner, probably Olive Rose. I would say shade ranges and options for versatility. I would say Saint has that on top of anything else. So if you have any questions like specifically about them, please let me know. I will happily compare or give you my opinion on it. So blending this in right here on my jawline and just carrying it down my neck a little bit just to create that shadowy effect there. Okay, so there it is. That's the contour all blended in, and I do have kind of a lot right here, but it's easy to blend. Very, very forgiving. Okay, next I got a new blush color. So I've been showing the Rosewood blush color, and it is, I don't know where it is. Maybe my daughter stole it. She seriously just comes in and steals my stuff sometimes, and then I'm like, no idea where it goes. So I have no idea where my Rosewood is right now to compare, but I got this one. This one's called Midnight Rose, and it's a very bold pink. I would say comparable to like Saffron or Sangria, if you've used those before in the Saint line. So I am going to do a very small amount here, and I have found with these, the very same situation. So like if I put this much blush of like almost any other brand of blush I've ever tried, I would really like work it in. But with this one, you like barely want to tap it, because if you really work it in, it will actually kind of just dissipate. And so you want to let the product be nice and concentrated and not really work it around. You're literally just kind of tapping. If you have a good solid brush like this that's nice, soft, dense bristles, then you're easily going to be able to just like dab that in, and you can see how it just like kind of dissipates around. And so I would normally be like afraid of this much blush, like worried that it's gonna like blend out and go everywhere. This one is not. So this one's not like that, and you can easily just, you know, flip your brush around and wipe away anywhere that you don't want. So I'd say like user-friendly 10, and skin-like appearance a 10. I would say like you want it to pack a punch and like be high impact for a long time. I would say you're not going to get that from it. It does wear well, like it doesn't wash off. I don't notice it looking bad like 8 hours in or anything like that, but it's not going to be this like real heavy, like full coverage look per se. So I'm gonna add just a tiny bit more on this side because the other side has more. So just to create a little balance, I feel like this side is darker. So and add a little bit more depth to here just to create a little balance. I haven't seen any questions come in, so if you have questions, please comment them. A tiny bit more depth just right underneath my cheekbone. And then I'm going to put a little bit more of this blush just right on the center of my cheeks to give a little bit more balance to both sides. Okay, I'm also going to grab a tiny bit more of my level 1, my like highlighting color, because I took it a little high on this side. And again, very easy to work with. So we're not worried about accentuating extra texture or anything like that. So if you're wanting a lot of extra coverage, really a lot more like fuller effect, like you want things to pack more of a punch, I would say stick with like creams, but I do think they really work well together. So you can basically create any kind of look that you want between the two of them. And so for instance, like if I want more coverage on my under eye, I'm not going to reach for a concealer. I'm definitely reaching for my Saint products because I would want, like, for example, I would come in here and just spot treat those smaller areas there with like a corrector shade, just so that I'm leaning harder into this absolute no trace of makeup type vibes. That would be my preference over using something thicker and fuller like a concealer. Yes, this is the Olive Rose products, and I'm doing almost an entire face. That little bit was Saint. But yeah, I'm doing an almost entire face of Olive Rose. I have a couple of blemishes right here that I am just going to grab, and I am using correctors. It's like a little dry skin that grabbed it too much. I'm using correctors instead of just straight up creams, and so I'm going to be showing those a little bit more. I have been using them a lot more on my own, like just getting ready. Like I've just been really loving using them, and so I'm going to be teaching you a little bit more how to use them in conjunction with the rest of your look. So, and then I have this little owie healing right there, so I'm going to cover that up, and this is a dark spot. So there we go. We are going to roll with this as the main makeup look. I'm going to set just parts of it, and I have found that using like a very translucent soft powder works the best with Olive Rose. And so don't use a powder that has like a lot of color or weight to it. A very light translucent type setting powder is amazing with it, because especially I really love the NARS. Sorry for my voice. The NARS Translucent Crystal has been like a favorite of mine forever, and it is like besties with my Olive Rose. They're just very happy together. So I can drop that link to the NARS powder that I love for you guys in the comments after this. So if there's everything like that where you're just like, hey, what powders you want, what things, like ask me whatever you want to see and I will jot it down, because I have been creating content and batching it like crazy, and I'm going to start editing and stuff soon, and then they should be starting to be scheduled and out. Jennifer, you're so sweet. All right, so this is the mascara that's part of that bundle, and I really like it. So what I found with it is that it won't really grab your eyelashes. So you do have to kind of be a little bit like patient, I guess, and work it back and forth in that base to really grab your lashes, because the brush itself is not going to like really pull on your lashes. So you kind of have to like work it into them so that they get really coated at the base. And then I found if I work from the base first, that then I can do the other side. So I build up that base. I don't really worry too much about the ends. What do I use to wash my face? I actually have videos up of like my full routine. I use Olive Tree products, and I can help you get like a customized routine for your face. And so if you just DM me, I will get back as soon as I can. And I will post, like, getting this weekend, I will film and post for you, like, my most current routine. I added a couple other products in, and I've been really sticking to it consistently. But I just have very sensitive acne prone skin. And so I can't really use strong products on my face, and I also can't switch up my routine very often. And so I really have stuck to one very specific routine for a while now, and I feel like my face is finally like really happy. And so I'll gladly share that routine. Or if you just want to DM me and be like, these are my skin concerns, this is kind of how my skin reacts, and this is my goal, I will help you to come up with a routine for you. Kathy! Okay, Brian and I were talking about you today, and it's like I need to text you basically, because I love you and I miss you so, so much. It's good to see you. Okay, so once you've built up the base on both sides, then I found that if you kind of like essentially close your eye, it gives you a little bit more leverage, and you can kind of go back and forth with just the edges of it, and it kind of keeps it away from, like, sometimes when you're trying to get the edges, you end up just getting mascara all over everything, right? And so if you close your eye, you can kind of focus on just those ends. And I've never really had to apply this way with a mascara before, but I feel like it works really well with this one. So you can see now the difference between the two. Yes. And so it just like lets you kind of grab the edges. So I would say the first coat, focus on the base, move on. Second coat, focus on the ends. And then this mascara is like a dream. So this one we're going to close and work back and forth like this. And you do kind of have to still be careful, because you could get it all over your face if you were too close. But you really don't have to get very far. It's literally just like those very ends, just the tips. And then you kind of spread it out like so. Very easy to work with. You need to give it like a solid 5-6 uses though before it's going to be really easy to work with. So there we go. There's the mascara. So you get the skin tint, the mascara, and the setting spray as part of the 1-day promo. Does the mascara get clumpy after a while? So this is my first tube of it, and I've used it exclusively. Like, I've used no other mascaras, so that I can just see like quickly how it wears. And so far it's been just like this since like maybe my 5th use. And I will just see how long it ends up lasting before I feel like it gets clumpy. I think that will be the first sign of it getting old, is, you know, like some mascaras get like flaky and crumbly, some just get like really thick and hard to work with, and other ones just like dry out or whatever. I think that the first sign for this formula will probably be that it gets clumpy. But again, you can, or I'll let you know, but you can like even add just like a little water to it or something and loosen it up. I don't know if that works with this one yet. I haven't gotten to that point. So I will continue keeping you posted as I test it out. I do love how like clean the formula is. So if you're worried about your ingredients, especially ones close to your eyeballs, then that would be good. You love the Saint ones that you use now. Those are fun. I would say this is the closest to like probably the Lash Leather, but I felt like my Lash Leather got clumpy really fast, and like faster than this one has. So I would say it's kind of in between the Silk and the Leather, because the Silk is very light and soft, and this has a very light, soft feel too. And then the Leather is like very voluminous, like volumizing. And I think that's the strength of this one too. Over lengthening, I would say volume is kind of this one's strength. So hopefully that helps. I should put this on my lips too. I was like, I'm going to do my lips and then out the door. My girls have their final play performance tonight. They have done, oh, and I need to brush my teeth apparently. They have done 4 performances, and then they perform for their school tomorrow, and then their play is done, and they've been just working so hard on it, and I feel like it's so cute. So anyway, we're off to see the final performance of that, and then yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Comment them here. I'll answer as soon as I can. Hopefully that was helpful, and I'll continue. Bye.